Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to Harry Potter Day. I'm glad to see some kids here this morning to enjoy Harry Potter Day. Unity of Palmyra is centered in love. We embrace a positive path for spiritual living. We are an open and affirming congregation. We love you exactly as you are in all of your magnificent glory. So some of you have noticed that except for one, none of the prayer chaplains are here this morning. So that is because they are on retreat this morning. They have been on retreat since Friday evening and are just having a wonderful time connecting and singing and dancing and praying and chanting. And they are all holding space for Jeff, who is the lone prayer chaplain in attendance, and he is holding space for us. And I think it would be lovely if we would all be holding space for them this morning as they conclude their retreat. And I'm glad that they're taking this time to nurture themselves, because they do so much work for this community. And so they are filling their own cups this weekend so they can continue to pour into us. So let's take that thought of gratitude and self-care into our opening prayer. Let's simply breathe. Simply, as if breathing isn't the most important thing we do every minute of our lives. So we honor the breath. We honor how it grounds us, nurtures us, feeds us, uplifts us, and literally gives us life. We also acknowledge how the breath inspires us. And in fact, it is the root of the word inspiration, to be filled with breath. And so we take a moment to breathe deeply. And with each breath, we feel ourselves becoming more and more present as we let go of what was and what will be. We release any regret or worry that we're feeling, and we give ourselves the gift of being fully present. We are here right now with wide open hearts and minds, so eager to receive what this time has to offer. And so, as always, we enter into this experience with gratitude as we say thank you for this time to come apart for a while, to remember the truth of who we are, that luminous beings are we, as we learned from Yoda last week, that we are spiritual beings having an incredibly human experience. We say thank you for whatever safe and warm and dry space you are in this morning, whether you are sharing with us in the sanctuary or sharing with us through the ethers, through Facebook or YouTube. All are welcome here. And finally, we say thank you for one another, for this beloved community so committed to making a difference in the world, to creating a world that works for all. And as always, we remember that together or apart, we are forever connected at the heart. And so it is. Amen. So let's stand. Together, may the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to hurt, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Divine Spirit. One of our core beliefs in this community and within the Unity movement is that we are exactly as the divine created us to be in all of our magnificent glory. So let's sing that affirmation together.
I am the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory, I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory, I am. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory, I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory, I am. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory, I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory, I am.
Oh, that was lovely. Let's share together in our vision. Centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. And our mission, wherever we are, whether that be Mariewald or Gettysburg or any place else I was this weekend, we provide a welcoming community that inspires and encourages all who gather here through the teaching, sharing, and practice of universal spiritual principles. And one of the ways that we practice those principles, is to honor wherever you are on your hugging journey. So if you would like a hug, we will bring it on in. If you're more comfortable with the handshake, we will honor that. And if you want us to leave you completely alone, we totally understand. And we will respect whatever bubble you create around yourself. Have a great time.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul
message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. All right, we have a couple of announcements. As mentioned before, our lone prayer chaplain this morning is Jeff McFarland. Thank you for being here, holding space for us. And Jeff will also be available after the service in this nice quiet corner over here if anyone would like one-on-one prayer or just wants to stand with Jeff for a few minutes and experience their wholeness, which is really what the prayer chaplains bring to us, is a recognition and an acknowledgement of whatever is appearing in the outer world. We are whole and we are enough, and we are so grateful for that. Our Reel to Reel series continues next Sunday with Sister Act. It is going to be the movie for Zeal. We'll be showing the movie this Friday evening in Holy Grounds, and if you've never seen Sister Act, it's a very fun movie, and it is just a wonderful example of the power of zeal or enthusiasm. So that's next weekend. Also coming up on Friday, May 17th, is Gwen's next Sounds of the Sanctuary. Well, she'll be bringing all of her amazing bowls and gongs and chimes and just filling the sanctuary with incredible sounds. Speaking of incredible sounds, Saturday morning at the Prayer Chaplain Retreat, Linda Klein led us in some Vedic chanting, which was just sublime. And so I'm already figuring out how to work it into a service so that y'all can experience it, because, just God bumps all over. It was just amazing. So we have so much talent and so many resources in our community. It's so much fun to include them all. Yard sale donations may be accepted until May 29th. But the sooner you bring them in, the better. The yard sale team is now meeting every week to price and start to figure out where to display all of your treasures. The yard sale is June 1st, and I do know that the team needs some volunteers on that day to help to staff the yard sale. It's a very, very fun day, and we get to be ambassadors that day. Sometimes people ask for a tour of the building, or they want to talk about our belief system, and it's just a wonderful way to interact with our community. And then last announcement, the last day to order Mother's Day mugs is now. That would be today. So if you would like a custom-made Mother's Day mug, I had a lot of fun making Steph's for her daughter for Mother's Day. And so if you would like one, please let me know before I leave today. And I think that's it. Did I miss any? Nope, we're good. And Becky, would you please read the daily word?
Sure thing. Good morning. Good morning. The word for today is joy. I feel joyous as I celebrate life. Each new day is a treasure filled with life's gems found in even the most ordinary moments. Joy fills my heart when I pause to notice the wonder that surrounds me. I let my gaze linger as I watch the setting sun, or close my eyes as I savor the sweetness of fresh fruit. Beneath the night sky, I breathe deeply and partake of the fresh, clean air. The beauty of the world pales in comparison to the beauty within me. I am so deeply and wondrously blessed to know my oneness with God and with all that is. There is no greater joy. I wake in praise each new day and feel newly alive. I go out into the world to share the joy of being a child of God in the abundant universe. I spread light and love to everyone I meet, trusting they will know the joy of God as I do. And from Psalm 92:4, for you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the work of your hands I sing for joy. I am home, my family is here. I feel loved by the ones I hold so dear. And when my family needs me, I promise to be there. And when I need my family, I'm lifted up in prayer.
This is the time of our service where we consciously enter into that energy of prayer. We know that every thought, every word, every action is prayer. And so we take these few sweet moments to mindfully and thoughtfully enter into that space. That place of integration of body, mind, and spirit. That place where what we think, what we say, and what we do is in perfect alignment with spirit and with our soul's calling. And so we take a moment to sink deeply into that place of quiet, that place of stillness, that place deep within us, far below the waves and the winds and the turbulence. That place where we know with every cell of our being that all is well. That place that knows that despite the challenges we experience in the outer, that when we take the time to go within, we find the answers that we seek. We find the wisdom and the courage and the strength and the compassion to do what is ours to do. And so if you are experiencing a challenge this morning, whether it be physical or financial or a relationship in need, I invite you to drop it into that place of all knowing, all love, all peace. And allow that energy to infuse this challenge. Whatever is disturbing that calm peace of your soul, and let that peace be restored. And if you are experiencing joy, as we just heard so beautifully represented in the reading, I invite you to share it right now. Spread it throughout that golden web that we visualize in our mind's eye. That golden web that connects us all, through which each of our individual life forces flows and connects. Feel your energy greet those around you. Feel the homecoming. Feel the delight. Feel the recognition of joy shared and challenges diminished as we come together in beloved community. So we take another deep breath together, remembering that we can go to this place of stillness and peace at any time by simply remembering to breathe and remembering who we are, that we are exactly as the divine created us to be, that we are light and love and glory. And so it is. Namaste.
The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. You are beautiful. You are whole. You are beautiful. You are whole. Good morning. It seems very somber in its joy. Seems so quiet and hushed. I think the rain does that to all of us. So I started talking because actually I need your help on this song. There's a line after each chorus that I'd like for you guys to sing with me. And the only words are ha, ha, ha. That's pretty much. So here's how it goes. Ha, 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 ha. Try it again. Ha, 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 ha. Nice. One little boy in Africa, he put a face on AIDS, told his story to the world till he died. And these are the words he said. He said, do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Holy Mother from India, helping the sick and the poor. Somebody asked, why do you do these things? She said, this is what I came here for. She said, do what you can with what you have, in the times you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. This is the gift they gave to us to share wherever we go. Be the change you wish to see in this world. Now I understand what they wanted us to know. You can do all you can with what you have, with the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. One little boy in Africa, do all you can. You can sing the do all you cans with me too. There's one at the end of each of these lines. Holy Mother from India, do all you can. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Do all you can. Do all you can. Do all you can. Ha, so cool. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us to sing along. That was lovely. I love that song. It's one of those sweet, gentle, incredibly powerful songs.
Yes.
Right? Robert Anderson wrote that. He's a very gifted songwriter. Okay, so welcome back to half of our 12 Powers, our spring 12 Powers series. And so today, based on the votes that we got back in April, we are going to explore the power of power. That's Harry Potter. That's right. So, first, a quick primer on the power of power, and then I promise we'll get into Harry Potter. And I actually have something to show the kids then afterwards. So power is our ability to convert an idea into the words we speak, the actions we take, and the things we build. So that is going to be a consistent theme throughout the entire day-to-day. So we affirm our oneness with our higher power, with God, by whatever we call it, right? Might be the force. And we know that is the Christ within us. When we are in alignment with that powerful consciousness that does the work, that is where our power comes from. So Philip is the disciple that represents power, and it won't come as any surprise to you that the color for power is purple. Yeah, there we go. So power is our doing ability, right? So we've looked at wisdom, and we've looked at strength, and we're going to be, and what was the first one we did? Oh, faith, and we've looked at faith. But now power is, how do we take everything we've studied so far and put it into action? So our powers of wisdom and love help us to make good decisions and not bad decisions, as Becky so beautifully sang last week. It helps us to make wise choices, as we learn from Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade. Remember, he chose wisely and didn't die a horrible, awful death. So power puts those choices into action. So Werner Erhard said, "It is important that you get clear for yourself that your only access to impacting life is action." That's the good news and the bad news. "The world does not care what you intend, or how committed you are, or how you feel, or what you think. And it certainly has no interest in what you want or don't want. Take a look at life as it is lived and see for yourself that the world only moves for you when you act." What's that old saying? The road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? Now, we don't believe in an actual physical hell, but we can sure create it here, can't we? Right? Yeah. So how do we do this? So when we claim our power, we commit to living authentically. There is nothing more powerful than a fully authentic, fully self-aware, and fully self-actualized individual. There is nothing more powerful than a person who uses their power consciously. And yes, there are conscious and unconscious uses of power. Right? This gets us into Harry Potter. So we notice that he who must not be named, who would that be? Thank you, Voldemort, is very powerful. But to what end? How does he use his power? He uses his power to control and to manipulate. Now, his misuse of power grew out of his own sadness and his own anger and his incredible paranoia. There was nothing empowering about Voldemort's power. He demanded absolute obedience and loyalty from his followers. And he literally killed anyone who opposed him, including Harry's parents. Remember, that's how Harry got the lightning bolt on his forehead. His mother's love, spoilers, his mother's love saved him because Voldemort also tried to kill Harry. So what does it mean to claim our power? It means we claim ourselves. It means we integrate all of our parts, the good, the bad, the ugly, our gifts, our talents, our innate abilities, our education, our lack of education, and our shadow. We are willing to see all of us, and we're willing to claim all of us, which means we're willing to observe and to acknowledge and to tell the truth about our strengths and weaknesses. Now, you might say, well, okay, I'm willing to tell the truth about my strengths. I don't really want to look at my weaknesses, right? But I think sometimes we're actually afraid to look at and to claim our strengths. Because if we do, that means that we need to do something with them. If we're willing to say that we have a strength, or we have a gift, or we have an ability, and that means it is our responsibility to use that to make the world a better place. And so sometimes it's easier to ignore a strength, to not want to look at it, and to claim our weaknesses as excuses for not claiming those strengths. Can anybody other than me, thank you, claim that? Yeah. So we want to be willing to look at both our strengths and our weaknesses. So back to Charles Fillmore. I think it's nice every now and then to actually acknowledge and quote Charles Fillmore, since he was the one who discerned these 12 powers. So this is from the book, The 12 Powers. He says, "It follows that every kind of human industry must be carried forward by a power that recognizes divine law. Man is the power of God in action. To man is given the highest power in the universe. That power is the conscious power of thought. There is a universal creative force that urges us forward to a recognition of the creative power of our individual thought. This force is elemental, and all its attributes come under the dominion of humanity. When we cooperate with divine principles, we sit, bless you, on the throne of our authority, and the elemental force is subject to us." Sounds pretty heady, doesn't it? We sit on the throne of our authority. So it sounds heady until you realize that with that authority comes responsibility. That's what the masters all understood. And I also believe that that was the source of their humility. And it's what the Voldemorts of the world don't understand. The incredible, massive responsibility that comes with great power. So the unconscious use of power is all about me. What can I get? Who can I control? How can I profit? How can I be right? We love being right. How can I get my own way? We also love getting our own way. The conscious use of power is only concerned with how it can contribute, how it can support others in claiming their power in living fully authentic lives. It's the reason we chose Nikosi's song for today. The conscious use of power is only concerned with how it can make a difference. With wherever we are, with whatever we have, with whatever time we have, how can we make a difference? So this, I have to bring Jesus in here just a little bit, because he was a barefoot, itinerant teacher who quietly rocked the most powerful civilization on the planet at his time and changed our history forever. He claimed his power. He claimed the power that we all have, and he found himself. And in claiming his power, as can sometimes happen, he offended some people. That's why sometimes it takes courage to claim your power and to be your fully authentic self. So Jesus wasn't forcing anyone to believe him or to listen to him or to follow him. He wasn't using his power to coerce anyone or to frighten anyone. He was just being himself, fully actualized, fully aware, fully integrated, fully powerful. Very quietly powerful. Now, what we observed in Jesus and in many others is that in his very quiet, conscious use of his power, he threatened those who were using their power unconsciously. Didn't just happen in Jesus' time, it happens all the time. It's surrounding us at this moment in our culture. There's nothing more frightening for someone who's using their power unconsciously than to be in the presence of someone who is not. So that brings us back to Harry Potter. In one of the earliest scenes in The Sorcerer's Stone, and I am going to be also quoting from some other movies, so I've hopefully read the books or you've seen them all, because otherwise I'm going to ruin some of them for you this morning, so just be aware of that. So this was from one of the earliest scenes of The Sorcerer's Stone, which was the first book and the first series. For those of you who followed this or were around when this came out, my kids were little. They were of reading age, but they were young. But I made them wait till I had read the book before I gave it to them. So we were that family that was waiting for the book to come out, that had pre-ordered if we could, that was waiting in line at the bookstore for all of the books to come out. We were the family when the movies came out that were first in line after having to wait a year or two for the next movie, right? We loved Harry Potter. So in the very first movie, Harry is living with his aunt and uncle who are muggles. Now, a muggle is someone in the movie who does not have magical powers. But I like to kind of interpret that differently, and I like to say that muggles are just not aware of their magical powers, okay? So Hagrid, Hogwarts gamekeeper, who's a giant, had tracked Harry down to this scary remote island where his aunt and uncle and his cousin were hiding him out. Because in the weeks and months prior to that, these owls kept bringing invitations for Harry to go to school at the magical wizarding school of Hogwarts. Because it turns out that Harry, the orphan, was the son of two powerful wizards. He didn't know this. No one had ever told him. And his aunt and uncle wanted to deny the fact that he was different, right? In fact, he lived in a closet underneath the stairs, literally hidden away by his aunt and uncle. So when they realized these letters started coming, they realized that Harry was about to find out who he was. And so they thought they would spirit him away to this little cabin on this little island. And in the middle of a huge storm, Hagrid bashes down the door and walks in and hands Harry the invitation. Harry opens, much to the chagrin of his aunt and uncle and cousin, and Harry opens up the invitation, at which point he is very confused. He does not know who this giant is. He doesn't know what Hogwarts is. So Hagrid explains that Harry is a wizard, like his parents, and that like his parents, he has powers. And Harry looked at him and said the most astonishing thing that Hagrid had ever heard. He said, "You've made a mistake. I can't be a wizard. I'm Harry. I'm just Harry." So how many of us think, in learning that we are made in the image and likeness of the divine, that it's a mistake? So Hagrid said, "It's a scandal. Harry Potter not knowing his own story when every kid in our world knows his name. So imagine not knowing how powerful you are when everyone in the magical realm knows your name." So Harry's power frightened his muggle relatives, and they tried to hide from him how powerful he was. But eventually, he got to go to Hogwarts. He got training as a wizard. He was told of his true nature. He got to experience his true nature. and he got to make choices based on his true nature. Now that power scared his relatives. It scared those who had never claimed their own power. One of the things I love about the movie, that whole series of scenes, is that Hagrid doesn't force Harry to go to Hogwarts. He invites Harry to go to Hogwarts. He doesn't force him to claim his power. He doesn't force him to recognize who he is and his place in the magical world. Harry had a choice. And this was one of the first times we see that Harry made a wise choice and continues throughout the series, for the most part, to make wise choices. So we follow Harry on his journey to Hogwarts, where he meets his friends Ron and Hermione. He also meets Draco Malfoy. Dun, dun, dun. So Ron and Hermione welcome him and acknowledge him. Draco Malfoy also kind of welcomes him in a weird way. He says, "You'll soon find out that some wizarding families are better than others, Potter." Apparently there are contests on who can say Potter the most disdainfully, like Draco Malfoy did. "You don't want to hang out with the wrong sort. I can help you with that." To which Harry replied, "I think I can figure out the wrong sort for myself," and went back to Ron and Hermione. So again, Harry is faced with a choice when he approaches the Sorting Hat. Remember the Sorting Hat? That discerned for you which of the 4 houses that you would go into. Oh, and I don't know if you noticed in the weekly email this morning that all of the colors and the borders were in red and gold. And I said, "Oh, red and gold, well, that's interesting." And Jackie said, "Mom, those are Gryffindor's colors." And I said, "Oh, Jackie, I am so sorry I didn't notice that." She said, "That's okay, I know Becky will." So this is an interesting moment, again, where Harry makes a choice. So the Sorting Hat goes on Harry, and the Sorting Hat is kind of like, you could go to Slytherin, which was Draco Malfoy's house. Or you could go to Gryffindor. And that sets up the theme throughout the entire series of this dichotomy within Harry, that at that moment he didn't understand, but he would learn to understand it. And Harry said to the hat, "Gryffindor, Gryffindor." And so the hat put him in Gryffindor. It was another choice that he made. He didn't allow himself to be tempted by the misuse of his power. So from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, "Do not fear to develop your power and your mastery. They are not to be exercised on other people, but on yourself." Again, the difference between the Masters and the Voldemorts. There's a wonderful scene where Draco Malfoy has stolen something from one of Harry's friends, from Nigel Longbottom. And they're out, and it's the first time that they've been introduced to their brooms, their mode of transportation, and what they need to play Quidditch, which is a semi-violent game that apparently they love in the magical realm. So anyway, they were not allowed to get on their brooms because they hadn't been taught how to use them yet. But then someone gets injured, so the teacher says, "Everybody stay here. Nobody get on a broom." Now, you're saying that to a bunch of pre-adolescents. What do you think's going to happen? That's right, they're going to get on the broom. So what happened is Draco stole something from Harry's friend, Nigel Longbottom, and took off on his broom. And Nigel was upset, and so Harry, who up until now, remember, had never heard of Quidditch, didn't know he was a wizard, was brand new to this whole magical realm business, had no idea how to fly on a broom, grabbed a broom and took off after Draco to get his friend's prized possession back. Well, it turns out that Harry, like his father, was a masterful flyer on the broom, was a natural, instantly knew how to do it, and ended up being put on the Quidditch team. But the point of the story was, Harry wasn't using his power for his own good. He wasn't trying to show off. He wasn't trying to get on the team. He didn't even know what the team was at that point. In fact, when they said, "You're going to be a seeker," he said, "What's that?" Right? He used his power to help. He used his power to get the gift back for his friend. And in using his power to help, he gained. He became the youngest seeker ever in the history of Hogwarts. So I'm going to switch now to the Chamber of Secrets. I'm crossing the streams. So at the very end of the movie, Harry's in Dumbledore's office. Now, he's just saved Ron's sister Ginny from Voldemort, and he's also defeated one of the incarnations of Lord Voldemort. And in the process, he's discovered, now this is the end of the second movie, so we're starting to see this theme now emerge, that he shares some of Voldemort's powers. He's not terribly happy about that. So that's the clip we're going to see.
Harry, first, I want to thank you, Harry. You must have shown me real loyalty down in the chamber. Nothing but that could have called Fawkes to you. And, second, I sense that something is troubling you. Am I right, Harry?
It's just... You see, so I couldn't help but notice certain things, certain similarities between Tom Riddle and me.
I see. Well, you can speak parcel tongue, Harry. Why? Because Lord Voldemort can speak parcel tongue. If I'm not mistaken, Harry, he transferred some of his powers to you the night he gave you that scar.
Voldemort transferred some of his powers to me.
Not intentionally, but yes.
So the Sorting Hat was right. I should be in Slytherin.
It's true, Harry. You possess many of the qualities that Voldemort himself prizes. Determination, resourcefulness, and if I may say so, a certain disregard for the rules. Why then did the Sorting Hat place you in Gryffindor?
Because I asked it to.
Exactly, Harry, exactly. Which makes you different from Voldemort. It is not our abilities that show what we truly are. It is our choices. If you want proof why you belong in Gryffindor, then I suggest you look more closely at this. Be careful.
Godric Gryffindor.
It would take a true Gryffindor to pull that out of the hat.
Wow, that's right. This is why I'm glad all our kids read Harry Potter. So it's not our abilities that show what we truly are. It's our choices. So throughout Harry's journey, we see him learning more and more about his abilities and developing his power of intention and the abilities that Voldemort had transferred to him. You know, it reminds me a little bit of that scene in The Empire Strikes Back, which we looked at last week, where Luke learns and feels that Darth Vader was his father. Darth Vader chose the dark side. Darth Vader chose to use his power unconsciously, not to empower, but to control. I think it was the same feeling that Harry had when he realized that some of his powers were coming from the dark side. Some of his powers were coming from someone who tried to kill him. But it was only when he was willing to integrate what Voldemort had unconsciously and unintentionally shared with him that he was able to claim all of his own power. He learned a really important lesson, that what we deny persists. Until he was willing to overcome his fear and even his revulsion. You can kind of tell by the look on his face, he was like, really? Like, ugh. It's a technical term, ugh. I don't want Voldemort's powers. Until Dumbledore was willing to tell him, but you also got some good stuff from Voldemort. You have to be willing to integrate it all. We have to be willing to look at all the parts of ourselves that we want to deny and claim their power, and then use that power consciously. You know, it's interesting. There was another powerful choice that Harry started to make. No one would say Voldemort's name throughout the first, 3 or 4 books. I keep looking at Becky for reference. They wouldn't even say his name. He who shall not be named. They were so afraid of him, they couldn't even say his name. It's like when we're so afraid of something that we don't want to name it. And yet in not naming it, we give it power. And we deny the power we have over it. Harry was one of the first people that started calling Voldemort, Voldemort. He was told to shut up. Don't say that name. And he said, why not? He's here. You keep pretending he's not here. And yet he is. And until you stop pretending that he's not here, we're not going to be able to defeat him. We have to name it. We can't ignore it. We have to claim that Voldemort is back. So throughout the movie, we see Harry and his friends, again, another hero's journey. Do you see that theme kind of running through everything? And they're using their power for good as opposed to using power for evil. And I thought of this quote by Jimi Hendrix that I just love. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. We could also say when we use our power for good, the world will know peace. So we're experiencing that struggle today, right? And to some extent, we're always experiencing that struggle. It's part of the human condition, right? But I think right now we're feeling a little overwhelmed by it. But we have an example in our history that I love, and I just want to share it briefly. When our country was founded, it was founded by people who were fighting oppression. They wanted to think and to worship and to work and to be who they were without a king, without a monarch, dictating all of that, right? So they fled that country. Now did they discover America? Well, no. But they came here to find freedom. And a couple hundred years after that, they claimed their freedom from King George. Interestingly, while they had originally escaped in order to worship with freedom, which we get to do, right? It was actually being unfairly taxed that was the last straw, right? And so they wanted to claim their freedom. They railed against the inequality of a monarchy, right? And yet, in an interesting twist of fate, they almost repeated that. So, following the end of the war in 1783, King George III asked what George Washington, who was the hero of the Revolution, was going to do next. And he was told of rumors that Washington was just going to go back to his farm. He was done, right? I've done my bit for God and country. King George said, if he does that, he will be the greatest man in the world. So Washington did return to his private life. He went to his plantation at Mount Vernon. So what do you think King George was observing when he said, that if Washington returned to his private life, he would be the greatest man in the world. What was Washington giving up? Power and control, right? So I'm sharing this story about George Washington, and I'm not whitewashing George Washington. He was a rich white man who owned enslaved people. He was a product of his time. That is part of our history too, and that is part of our country's DNA. But like all of us, he was a mixture of dark and light, of shadow and grace. And in this particular situation, it was his light that shone. So although Washington wanted to go back to the farm, back to Martha and the plantation, the country had other plans, and they implored him to become the country's first president. So in 1789, he was elected as our country's first president. Now, there were some in what would eventually become Congress, took a while, right, to get organized. They wanted him coronated. They wanted him to be referred to as king or emperor in order to express the country's gratitude. Everything old is new again, right? They were willing to recreate what they had just fought, an awful war, to escape. But Washington, in his wisdom, recognized that this would defeat their victory. And so he turned down the titles. He chose instead simply Mr. President. And he refused to let the powers of the presidency go to his head. Just like he had on the battlefield, he became a collaborative leader. Just like he would consult with his generals and his colonels and his infantry before he would make a decision. That's how he led the country. He regularly sought the input of others. He didn't abdicate his responsibility to make the final decision, but he was inclusive. They loved him so much that they asked him to please serve a second term, which he did reluctantly, but at the end of that, he said, "I'm done. The presidency needs not to be a lifelong appointment." And he set a precedent that was kept until it was made into law with the 22nd Amendment. So, like Harry, George Washington made choices that set the tone for our country's leadership for over 2 centuries. I'm sure Washington was tempted by the power. He was hugely popular. They would have done anything that he said. But he didn't do that. He served a greater good. So because of Harry's choices, the wizarding world was freed from a terrible evil. And because of Washington's choices, our country for many years became a haven for those fleeing from oppression, to live and to worship as they chose. And we benefit from those choices. And as we've learned over the last several years, we can't take those freedoms for granted. Just as Harry and his friends learned that they needed to be vigilant, that they couldn't take their victory over Voldemort for granted. They had to keep doing their work. Harry became a teacher at Hogwarts. I think he became headmaster at one point. Oh, no? I want him to be headmaster at some point. I'm going to say that he became headmaster at some point. It is fiction, people. Come on. Right? So we get to ask ourselves, what choices are we making? How are we using our power? Are we using our power to develop our gifts and our abilities? How are we exercising our power? So are we focused on making the biggest contribution we can make, the biggest difference we can make? Are we focused on being the change we wish to see in the world, on demonstrating our principles and our values? Or are we focused on being safe and comfortable? Right? So George Bernard Shaw says this, I love this. I think I've shared this with you guys before, but it should be shared frequently. I have it right where I can look at it at home. This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I've got to hold up for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Read that every morning and see how your day goes. Jimmy Carter said, "My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, and with whatever I have to try to make a difference." And he was building houses up until a year ago at 97 years old. And then finally, John Wesley. I think this was probably the inspiration for Nikosi's song. John Wesley was founder of the Methodist movement, and one of the reasons he founded, and the reason the word method is in there, is he was tired of the lack of action in the Church of England. It was all words, it was all liturgy, and nothing was happening. And he said, no, there must be a method to our faith. There must be action to our faith. So he said, do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. So we get to make a difference. We get to claim our power and use that power for good. I know sometimes it feels overwhelming and we get tired, but I love this teaching from the Talmud. I think this is my cover photo on Facebook, actually. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. So like Harry, we commit to using our power even when it scares us, to help and not to hurt, to empower, not to overpower, to give and not to take, to spread love and not hate. So before we go into meditation, I want the kids to all come down front because I want to show them something. Come on. So years ago, a friend of Jackie's, my daughter Jackie, he made this for me. It is an official Harry Potter wand, and here's what it says. It's made of purple heart, and the Latin word is, Peltagine paniculata. Doesn't that sound magical? It has many unique powers. It's good for channeling energies, and it strengthens blocking spells. What do you think about that? And look, it even looks purple, doesn't it? Now you're scared? Are you scared? I think that we use it for channeling good energies, don't you? You like that? Okay, so here we're going to go. I'm going to go zoom, 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 zoom. I see that look. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, all good energy all the time, wherever you are. Got it? Claim it? Okay, great. You can come play with this after the service. Yep, I'm a geek. All right. Miss Janie, would you sing us into meditation?
There is a secret I should keep, and someone else who wants to know. What will I choose to do? Will whispered words so small and thin turn into feathers in the wind? It may or may not be true. Well, broken promises to friends leave me lonely in the end. Or am I loved and trusted well because of stories I don't tell? Laugh or cry, quit or try, in this life I'm going through every day. Another fork in the road that will take me somewhere new. And every step makes me the person I will be. I have dreams in my heart, and I try to hear their voices when I make my choices. There is a child who needs my time to read a story, sing or rhyme. What will I choose to do? And every day I run around, I hardly have the chance to just sit down. But what is he going through? Will the boy become a man who will wonder if I understand who he is, what he needs? So much of this is up to me. Laugh or cry, quit or try, in this life I'm going through every day. Another fork in the road that will take me somewhere new. And every step I take is the person I will be. I have dreams in my heart, and I try to hear their voices when I make my choices. Everywhere I choose to go touches someone I don't even know, just like waves in the sand that finally touch the shore. And every chance I choose to take is another way my heart could break. But I can't stand still anymore. Laugh or cry, quit or try, in this life I'm going through every day. Another fork in the road that'll take me somewhere new. And every step makes me the person I will be. I have dreams in my heart, and I try to hear their voices when I make my choices. I have dreams in my heart, and I try to hear their voices when I make my choices.
I invite you to very gently close your eyes and to go within, to breathe deeply, to feel the breath going all the way down to your toes and all the way back up to your nose. And with every inhale, we feel the breath feeding us, nurturing us, inspiring us. And with every exhale, we release whatever doesn't. And on our next breath, I invite you to focus on your throat. You may even want to put your hand gently on your throat, on your neck. And feel that place in the center of head and heart. Feel that place of connection. Feel how it vibrates when you breathe and when you speak. Feel the power in that place. This is the power of our words, which are a reflection of our thoughts and propel us into action. So how do your words that come from this place of power reflect back upon you? Do your words inspire? Do they acknowledge? Do they appreciate? Do they educate? Do they empower? Or not? Feel that place of connection between our head, our intellect, our knowledge, and our heart, our love, our courage, and our wisdom. And as we rest in this place of power, we ask, how will I be used? How will my power be used? What difference is my power making? What choices am I making?
Everywhere I choose to go touches someone I don't even know. Just like waves in the sand that finally touch the shore. And every chance I choose to take is another way my heart could break. But I can't stand still anymore. Laugh or cry, quit or try, in this life I'm going through every day. Another fork in the road that will take me somewhere new. And every step makes me the person I will be. I have dreams in my heart, and I try to hear their voices when I make my choices. I have dreams in my heart, and I try to hear their voices when I make my choices.
So this is the part of our service where we no longer pass the basket. You can drop paper back there or send your love offerings through the ethers. This is where we do get to be incredibly grateful for your generous support of the work of this community. And a special shout out to those of you who join us online and have become contributors also to the work of this community. We are so incredibly grateful for your support. You ready to roar? Go, baby.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I sat quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let them push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake you round. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I've got the eye of the tiger, a fighter, dancing through the fire. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. Oh, 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 you're gonna hear me roar. Now I'm floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. I earned my stripes. I went from zero to my own hero. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake you round. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I've got the eye of the tiger, a fighter, dancing through the fire. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
thought we needed a power ballad to end today's show. So Gemma, I want to hear you roar. I don't know if you heard her over there singing along every word.
Every word.
Made my heart sing.
I
right?
loved it.
I hope all of our kids claim their power and roar. Right? That was awesome. Anytime you want to sing along, I know that Janie and Becky love it when you sing along. All right, let's, it's birthday Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Birthday Sunday. Oh no, it's Unity Blessing. I'm sorry, I was just so excited by all the roaring. I forgot. Okay, all right, so let's stand and bless everyone and everything, and then we will do the birthday song. All right, together, we love you.
We love you.
We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. And sending that out to all of our prayer chaplains who are probably now on their way home. Okay, now it's time. And a reminder, if your name is not on the slide, it means we don't have your birthday, okay? So make sure you get us your birthday so we can acknowledge you. You ready? All right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Sam, Rose, Cynthia, Bridget, and Deborah. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Didn't want to extinguish. It's still roaring. That's right. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. Every day I'm wasting my time thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I've got to get up, get out, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear-cut intention. Declare what I will be, and then what should come to me. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. No good. Where are we? Days when I don't even want to try. But when I stop, look, listen, and surrender, I hear a voice of truth I cannot deny. It says you know you can do it, just get down to it. Have faith in yourself and the will to see it through. I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. In these times when I feel so frightened and it seems I just can't go on, I've got to look deep inside, 'cause that's where I find the power, the power, the power inside of me. I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I got the power to be anything I want. I surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well.
Yay, God. Have a wonderful week. Claim your power. And I understand that downstairs we are celebrating Cinco de Mayo. So come on down and join in a very festive fellowship this morning. Bye-bye, our YouTube and Facebook friends. We love you so much. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Is that yours?
Yes.
What?
Okay, just forgot.
I-
Yeah. Well, you, my purse, yes, thank you, Linda.
Yeah, you might remember it when you. Yeah, yeah.